Hey everyone, are you ready for a big end of the year book haul? I don't exactly have a lot of time, so I want to try and get through this quickly. I have read most of these books on this book haul, so that's good. That's really good, and I hope I can keep that up. I don't exactly have time to count how many books I have, but I have a mixture of ebooks and physical books. I will leave the amount of books down below in the video somewhere, so let's just get onto it. The first book I have to talk about is one that has not arrived yet, and it is The Walking Dead Compendium 4. It is the last compendium before I have finished the series and caught up. And it follows a group of survivors, well, I should actually say, it follows a group of people who are surviving, or at least trying to survive in a zombie apocalypse. I'm literally surrounded by books. Here's the first pile. Literally surrounded by books, okay? First book, The Atlas Six by Olivia Blake. It is the first book in a trilogy. It is dark academia. It follows a group of 6 people who are accepted into this prestigious university or the secret society where they have knowledge of ancient civilizations and they enjoy incredible power. But to get to the next stage, only 5 can make it to the next stage, and it's like, who's gonna make it? Who's gonna, you know? I have read this and I really enjoyed it. One Italian Summer by Rebecca Shirley. It follows a mother and daughter. They are to go on a trip to Italy together for 2 weeks, where the mother is said to have the best time of her life and they want to kind of share the experience. The mother sadly passes away before they go on the trip together, and the daughter decides she still wants to go anyway. She goes and she sees her mother everywhere, quite literally, because as soon as she steps foot on the scenes of Positano, I believe, she literally sees her mother when she's 30, young, healthy, very much alive, and teen. And they kind of strike up a friendship, and the daughter gets to know her mother as before she was her mother, so she gets to know her mother as a person and not just a mother. I did read this, did not enjoy it at all. This My Turt by Stephanie Robel. It follows 2 sisters. One of them is pretty reckless. The other one always feels the need to save and protect her sister, and they somehow end up being involved in a cult. I have read this book and I actually really did enjoy it. I really did. The War of Two Queens by for goodness sake, I cannot speak. The War of Two Queens by Jennifer L. Armentrout, the 4th book in the From Blood and Ash series. I finally got around to reading this book. This one took me a while to read and I really enjoyed it. I feel like I've talked about this series enough on my channel, so I don't want to talk about it too much. I feel like a lot of people already kind of know what the series is about, so I won't talk about it at all, but this is the 4th book in the series. Sea of Tranquility by Emily St. John Mandel. Have read this book. I annotated it as well. I don't know how I feel about annotating. Really enjoyed this. It takes place across different eras. Like, this person hears the sounds of violins in the woods where they are walking, and this investigator tries to go and investigate what the heck is happening. I love this book. It is so good. It's a short one. You can easily read it in a day. I know I nearly did. Really good book. And a poetry collection, All Dogs Are Good by Courtney Pepinell. It's a poetry about dogs. And I nearly cried while reading a little bit of it. Oh, it's got pictures. Like really beautiful images throughout. I nearly cried while reading just the introduction of it. And like, oh my gosh, I think it's going to be a bit of a tearjerker, and it won't help because I myself have a dog as well. Oh, mamma mia, okay. The Illustrated World of Tolkien by David Day. It literally is what it says, and it's like the world illustrated, the worlds that J.R.R. Tolkien has created, and just the illustrations of that. I believe it does also talk a little bit about it, but I walked past this book several times because I didn't know if I wanted it or not, but it twisted my arm a little bit as soon as I opened it up, and I'm glad I got it. I have not read this one yet. I have not read this one yet either. On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous by Ocean Vuong. I have read this, but I DNF'd it because I just did not like it at all. I did not like the writing. Some things kind of contradicted each other and were a little confusing. They could have been a bit explained a little bit better, but that's just my opinion. Hey, what do I know? I did not graduate university. I didn't go to university to study English literature, so what the hell do I know, you know? This is a very hyped book as well. It is literally told in letter formatting, and it's about a son and his very complex and strange relationship with his mother. The Glass Hotel by Emily St. John Mandel, another book by this author. It follows people who are kind of embroiled, I don't know if that's the right word, but they kind of become involved, whether they know it or not, in this Ponzi scheme, and there's like a little bit of a ghost in here too, and it's about people who have become a part of this Ponzi scheme and people that have been affected by this Ponzi scheme. I know it doesn't sound interesting, but it's a really good book. I really did enjoy this one, and I have read this one. Then I have a manga series that I am incredibly excited to read. I have Attack on Titan Volume 1. Okay, how am I going to do this? Volume 2 and Volume 3. I'm so excited about this, and it's going to take me a little while to get used to reading manga, because of the way that it's formatted and the way it's written is a little different to what I'm used to. This follows a group of people who live in this, well, I can't look at that one because that's the third one and it'll spoil, but it follows a group of people who live in this walled community because these titans, these massive titans, you can see one on the cover right there, will come and destroy the place and eat people. I'm excited for it. I'm hyped for it. I'm worried I've hyped it up a little bit for myself, but hopefully, fingers crossed, I haven't. And if I really enjoy this one, I am going to get a Crunchyroll subscription and binge the absolute shit out of this show. Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikatsu Kawaguchi follows a group of people, and they come into this cafe and they have to sit in a certain spot, and then they are able to time travel back to visit their loved ones that have passed away, I believe. I believe that's the premises of this book. Have not read this one yet, and I really do want to. It's a short one. Should be able to breeze through it pretty quickly, and if I do enjoy it, there are 2 more books in the series. My Year of Rest and Relaxation by Otessa Moshfegh. I've read 2 books by this author before, and I really enjoyed them. I really like the dark characters and the disturbing kind of things that happen in the books. This follows a woman, and she's a very well-off, very privileged person, and she decides, hey, I want to take a year off to rest, have some relaxation, get high off my tits on drugs. And I'm hoping it's going to be dark and disturbing because I really like dark and disturbing things apparently, so there we go. The Southern Book Club's Guide, oh gosh, yeah, The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix. A vampire book about a group of people, women I should say, who have this book club. The next thing you know, a man moves in next door, and they believe and they suspect that he is a vampire. I've heard multiple people say that, well, I've actually heard one person say that it's basically about the prejudice that Southern women and just mothers, I guess you could say, have, and then I've heard people say that it gets pretty scary. So I don't know, I have not read this one yet. I do have a themed reading vlog planned for this one that I'm hoping to get to in 2023. Hidden Pictures by Jason Rekulak. I believe that's how you pronounce his last name. It is a horror thriller kind of book, and it follows a nanny. She's a recovering drug addict, and she is a nanny for this family. And this kid starts drawing really creepy pictures. They tell him to stop. He does, but yet these really creepy images still happen, and they become a little bit more frequent with a lot more skill. I will show you what I mean by a lot more skill. That's not the one I'm looking for. Oh yes, there's the bunny. You see the bunny? And it's like, what's happening? Is there a dark entity? Oh wait, see, there's more. And it's just like, what's happening? Who's doing this? Why are they doing this? Is there like a supernatural element? I don't know. You're gonna have to read it. I have, and I really, really enjoyed it. A Sliver of Darkness by C.J. Tudor. I have read this one. November, I believe I read it. I really, really enjoyed it. It is a short story collection, and the genre is more along the lines of thriller and horror. Thriller, horror, short story collection. Really, really enjoyed it. I thought the collection was very, very strong. Summer Suns by Lee Mandello. It is a queer, gothic, horror, southern Appalachian mythology, folklore, horror, because there are some pretty creepy stuff that happened in this book. Two boys are really, really close. One of them dies. The other one that survives, or that is alive, still alive, inherits what the other fella, Eddie, gave him. Andrew is the one that survived. So Andrew inherits Eddie's money, friends, a prestigious scholarship to this college where they can finish off their studies, and fast cars, drugs. I really, really enjoyed this one. It's kind of like a haunted house story with a bit of a difference, and I really, really enjoyed it. Okay, we're getting there. The Scenes Mean Volume 1, what's this one called? Preludes and Nocturnes. The Scenes Mean 2, The Doll's House. And The Scenes Mean Volume 3, Dream Country. If you've read well, I haven't read this one yet. I'm hoping to very, very soon. And if you've seen the TV show, it's based on that. Someone steals... Actually, Dream is kidnapped. Someone steals his magical powers, or his, things that make him like the kingdom, like the king of dreams. Bad stuff starts to happen, because if he doesn't get his magical properties back, then bad stuff is going to happen to the world. And I really enjoyed the TV show. I need to finish it off, and I'm excited to get into the comics, because who knows when the show's going to finish, and I feel like I can get through the comics quicker than I can while waiting for the show. Now, for a book that I think has the most awesome title I think I've ever heard, even my mother agrees. Everyone in my family has killed someone by Benjamin Stevenson. I'm just gonna read to you the back. I was dreading the Cunningham family reunion even before the first murder, before the storm stranded us at the mountain resort, snow and bodies piling up. The thing is, us Cunninghams don't really get along. We've only got one thing in common. We've all killed someone. My brother, my stepsister, my wife, my father, my mother, my sister-in-law, former sister-in-law, it has in brackets, my uncle, my stepfather, my aunt, me. So I'm guessing it's who is killing these people, knowing that everyone in this family has killed someone. Who was doing the killing? I cannot wait to read this one. It sounds like such a fun time. Blood Sugar by Sasha Rothschild. It follows a woman who has committed 3 murders, but she's been accused of 4. Who did the 4th murder? I don't know. Gonna have to read it. Have not done that yet. Sounds good. Like the cover, nice and bold. I will read it sometime in 2023. Babel or Babel. I can't remember how I said this before, but Babel I'm gonna call it because it just sounds better, by R.F. Kuang. It is a dark academia about a boy who was taken from his motherland, I believe, from his country, where he is he forced? Well, orphaned in Canton and brought to England by a mysterious guardian, Robin Swift thought Babel a paradise until it became a prison, but can a student stand against empire? And it talks about translation, and I'm guessing the harmful effects if a work is not translated properly, and colonialism. I'm a little nervous to read this one because it is not only just hyped, but because I'm a little worried about how it's going to be written. Have not read this, as you can clearly tell. I will read this for a Dark Academia reading vlog I have planned for 2023. Nothing But Blackened Teeth by, what's her name again? Cassandra Khaw. It follows a group of people, and there is a wedding taking place in a haunted mansion in Japan. I actually like this one. I did read this one. I thought it was good. Comfort Me with Apples by Catherine M. Valente. It follows a woman with a very seemingly perfect life. Everything about her life is perfect. A little too perfect. Then the neighbors start acting a little bit weird towards her. That's all I can say about this book. It's good. I really, really liked this one. I have read it. Oh, that plot twist. Oh, it was so good. So very, very good. The Color Bound by Catherine, is that her name? No, Rebecca Zahari. I don't know anything about this book. I heard another booktuber talk about it and I thought, oh, it sounds kind of interesting. I wasn't ready to buy it yet. I have not read this one yet. Like I said, I don't know what it's about. I just accidentally bought it on the Kindle app because I found a way to buy stuff on the Kindle app without having to go on my laptop on the Amazon website and then just syncing like my Kindle area, like Kindle page, books I've saved on the Amazon web page, if that makes any sense at all, I don't know. And yeah, I found a way to buy stuff on the Kindle app because you need a Kindle, like a proper Kindle to buy books, and I don't know if I want that. So yeah, this was an accident, but a happy accident. Will I enjoy the book? I don't know. Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno Garcia. It follows a woman, and Noemi, I believe her name is. Her cousin has sent her a letter telling her to come and rescue her because her husband is poisoning her. It's Gothic. I liked it. The more I think about it, the more I feel like I should have given this one a 3 stars because I just thought it was fine. I liked it. I will be reading more Silvia Moreno Garcia books because I've heard nothing but incredible things about them, and I'm just got a little bit of FOMO and I'm just very intrigued about her books because they sound really, really good. A Diary of Blood by S.T. Gibson. It follows Dracula's first wife, Constanta. Yes, it's sapphic, and Dracula is a bit of an abusive bastard in this one. I've heard nothing but good things about it. It's told in diary format, diary entries, and the pages are so short, like those diary entries are very short, so hopefully I will breeze through this one. This will also be part of a specific themed reading vlog that I want to do in 2023, so keep an eye out for that. The Book Eaters by Sonyi Dean. It follows a mother and son, and it's about people, like these 6 old book eater families, and it's literally what it says. So if you, from what I've heard someone say, if you ingest like an action book, you will become brave and kind of like a hero. But this little boy is able to eat souls or brains of other people, and it's kind of like this mother has to save her child. She will do whatever she can to save her child. That's the basics of what I know of it. It's a short as well, and I just love this cover, so beautiful. The Year of the Witching by Alexis Henderson. I did read this one, I really, really enjoyed it. It follows Emmanuelle. Oh god, what does she have again? Her mother did something naughty that is quite frowned upon in this little religious town of Bethel, and she is lured into the forest where she is gifted her mother's journal, her mother's diary, and shit starts to happen. After that, she's accused of witchcraft and witchery, and I really, really enjoyed it. I thought it was really a really good book, and I will most likely read whatever Alexis Henderson has written because she's a good writer. Sour Candy by Keelan Patrick Burke. It follows a little boy, a little creepy demon child, and he sees a man in a supermarket, says, "You're my daddy now, you will do whatever I tell you to do." Yeah, it's a short novella. I have read this, really, really enjoyed it. I loved it so much. Battle Royale. It is, what I've heard people say is that it's kind of like a Hunger Games, but like the first Hunger Games before the Hunger Games. It's Japanese, and I'm excited to be reading more Japanese books because I do have quite a few Japanese books that I do want to get to. Then I've got Stephen King, A Complete Exploration of His Work, Life, and Influences. Literally what it says, and it's hardback, it's frickin' heavy, rock solid. Can you see like the typewriter? Looks really cool. I saw this in a bookshop. I have not read this one yet, and I'm hoping to soon. The Atlas Paradox, book 2 in the Atlas trilogy, I believe it is, by Olivia Blake. Have not read this one yet. I already talked about what the series is. This is the sequel. Hoping to get to this one very soon. The Troop by Nick Cutter. It follows a group of boys. I don't think there's a coach. Actually, no, I think there is a coach. Of boys and their coach. They are stuck on this island where creepy stuff is happening. Bad, terrible stuff is happening. A man walks up on the beach and says, "I'm hungry," starts stuffing his face with dirt. Quite creepy, heard it's very, very good. Come Closer by Sarah Grant. It is literally a demon possession story, and I really liked it. I really did. I have read this one. She and Her Cat. It is a very little book about cats and people. We get the perspective of women from these cats and the hardships that they go through, I believe. The very last list of Vivian Walker by Megan Albany. DNF to this one, did not like it at all. It follows a woman, she has terminal cancer and she is going to die, and she has a list of things that she wants to finish and accomplish before she sadly passes away. Fairy Tale by Stephen King. Don't ask me what edition this is, but it is stunning. My bookshop only has this edition, and you know, I'm not mad. It's very beautiful. I believe it's like portal fantasy about a battle between good and evil. I've heard there's a dog in here that people really, really love. Hoping to get to this one. Don't know when, but it's a bit of a big one, so we'll see. Light Perpetual by Andrzej Sapkowski. It is the last book in the Hussite trilogy about countries and religion. I believe that's what it is. I'm really pressed for time right now and I can't remember a single thing about these books, so I'm really sorry about that, but last one in the trilogy. Excited to read it, have not read it yet. A Light in the Flame. It is the second book in the A Shadow in the Ember series. I love this series a lot. I don't want to talk about it too much. It's enemies to lovers, and I really, really, really love the first one. It's taking me a very long time to read the second one. Just things have been like disturbing me, distracting me. Not disturbing, but distracting me. And it's taken me a while to get through the second one. It's not bad, I'm loving the second one. It's just taking me a really long ass time to read it. The No Show by Beth O'Leary. It follows three women. They have a date with the same man on Valentine's Day. They get stood up on Valentine's Day and it's kind of like, where is he? And yeah, I'm reading this one as well and I'm liking it. Beautiful special edition of Empire of the Vampire. Look at it. Look and weep, everyone. It follows Gabriel de Leon. He is a silver saint and he is tasked with killing vampires, I believe. And it's been 27 years since the sun has come up, and there's this holy grail that is said to bring about the sun again. It is illustrated. I'm going to be very careful here, but it's illustrated. It's colored. It's stunning. One of the most prettiest books I think I have. And the last one, Night Film by Marisha Pessl. On a damp October night, the body of beautiful Ashley Cordova is discovered in a Manhattan warehouse. Though her death is ruled a suicide, investigative journalist Scott McGrath suspects otherwise. The last time McGrath got too close to the Cordova dynasty, he lost his marriage and his career. This time he could lose his mind. I love this book. I've read this book this year. Loved it. Gave it 5 stars. I read it on ebook and I just knew I had to have it in my hands. I loved it so much. Okay, we are done. That is it for this video. Thank you for watching. Yeah, I'm very happy. I think I've read a good majority of these books and I'm happy about that. And I will be continuing to read these books. So, still good. Thank you for watching. Leave a comment down below. Have you read any of these books? What did you think of them? And I'll see you later.